Hello everyone and welcome to my 2020 bullet journal flip through. So this was the first year that I ever did a bullet journal and I am in love. It is amazing. So I started out with this Scribbles That Matter. It's just the plain gray and it was pretty good. I did end up switching to a different one mid-year, but honestly I think both of these were hand-me-downs from my husband who was going to do them and then ended up not using them. So these Scribbles That Matter, I will say I like that they had the page numbers, and I thought I was really going to like that they had the index, but honestly I didn't use it clearly. So this year was again the first year I did this, so it was a lot of trial and error, but I learned a lot along the way. So I started out with this quote page. It says life is a lot like jazz, it's best when you improvise, and that is by Gershwin, which I did because I wanted kind of like a 20s theme. And oh my goodness friends, I had no idea how much we would be improvising this year. So that is that. We have a couple goals pages. I liked those. Then I have this bucket list. These were things that weren't goals. Obviously I had a time with the gel pens, but were like little things like plant a garden. That wasn't a goal, but it was something I wanted to do. And many of them didn't get done because things like go see an opera in the theater. No one had theater this year. The future log also was a little bit silly this year because we didn't have a lot of planning, and same with all the places to go many places. We didn't have a lot of planning, but I did a lot of reading, so this was a very helpful spread. I liked this better than this, and one thing I'll say is that the lines should be further apart, so like that is fine, but these were really small. I didn't end up using that business tracker. I did use this project tracker, and this was very helpful to keep track of my blog posts and YouTube and just all the different things. More trackers. So here is January. This was the very first spread, so I don't love it, but we have this little thing. These are from my sister-in-law's wedding. They were on their like party favors. I added this things to purchase page because I kept thinking of things I wanted to get, and it was kind of helpful, not super helpful. In February, I did this like penguin love design, and I had the quote, "Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different?" And that is from Prince Caspian. I don't have a good reason for how I pick my quotes. I just like them. I used a lot of sticky notes the first few months, and I tried this line a day where every day you write one thing that happened. And I also tried this little 29 days of self-love. So every day I would write down something that I loved about myself, because it was February, and February is a very difficult time for teachers. So a couple of different pages. I have those little penguins all throughout. And I liked this February in review. I meant to do this every month, but it didn't happen. March, I love the colors for March. I did this like floral theme, and it says, "Amateurs sit around and wait for inspiration while the rest of us just get up and go to work." And that's by Stephen King. I stuck with that line a day, although I obviously gave up because in March we started the whole quarantine thing. And so I found it very difficult to keep up with the line a day because it was like nothing was happening. And I didn't do a review either, that's why that page is empty. Then I had some ideas for distance learning, and I was lesson planning in my bullet journal for a while with these sticky notes. I liked the sticky notes because I can move them around if something didn't work or I didn't like something. Then in April, I liked this quote. It says, "We keep moving forward, opening new doors, doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths." And that is by Walt Disney. And so I went with this door theme because it talks about doors, and it just reminded me of Monsters, Inc. because of the doors. This was very Wizard of Oz, but I went with like this door theme. That's why I have like the green, like Mike Wazowski, and the blue and the purple. I don't love it. obviously this was not a helpful spread. I still did the lesson planning, and then I would just remove the sticky notes and add new ones. Still struggling with that line a day. I hated this spread so much I ended up putting a new piece of paper on top. That one's better. And then I have kind of this door theme going through. And April in review, so testing out more things in review. May I loved. This was that's what I'm looking for. And it says, the flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. That's from Mulan. And then this, if you're using sticky notes, I had to cut these down, but this was way too small. I ended up figuring out 7 by 7 was the best size for that. And I changed my one a day from one thing that happened to one thing I did that got me a little bit closer to my goals. So even if it was like, I posted one thing on Teachers Pay Teachers, or I, posted on my Instagram, ran out of room, and that was helpful. So this was my lesson planning for May, and again, I would just take the sticky notes and move them. I loved all the pink. It was just so fun. And we needed fun. We did go to Charleston. That was fun. So we have a little planner, and we did May in review. And then we have one of my favorites. So this is going to be the June spread, and June was all citrus themed, and I love it. It says the only difference between high performers and low performers is their habits, and that's by Brian Tracy. And I also did this like summer fun spread with basically a bucket list of things I wanted to do. I didn't do all of them, but I tried. Got distracted with all the things that I needed to do. So here I have the bigger calendar, and that worked a lot better. I just love how bright it is, and like all the lemons and limes. And here I even wrote, what did you do to get closer to your goals? Had an online course sign up tracker. Honestly, I sold more than that, but I gave up filling them in after a while. But I just love how bright and cheery whole spread is. And then we switched to a new bullet journal because I only had a few more pages at the back. So I went ahead in July, was half of the year, and I got this Archer and Olive dark green notebook. This was also a hand-me-down from my husband, and I have to say I like the scribbles that matter, but the Archer and Olive is a lot better. Just saying. The only thing I don't love is that they don't number their pages. I wish they numbered their pages. So for the second half of 2020, I picked a different quote, and this one says, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And that is by Walt Disney. And I really liked this. I had this like dark blue, light blue, silver theme throughout the front. And specifically this quote I liked because I did a lot of things this year that were going towards my goals, that were working really hard on new things and projects and just figuring things out. So that was a really good one for me. I also added these little tassels to keep bookmarks for like important pages, like my dreams. Have that bucket list that again still didn't get much happening. My future log is just sad. There we go. This bookshelf I liked so much better. We still have a few, actually it's only December 2nd, so we have a few more weeks, so I should have more of these colored in. Basically I just add a book every time I start a book, and then I color them in when it's finished. And we have, there's more treasure in books than all the pirate loot on Treasure Island. Picked all Disney themed quotes for this one. So then I have this is actually in my Becca's Bible Class Teachers Pay Teachers shop, so I will leave it below. It also has ones that are empty, so that if you want to have your kids write in the names, or if you want to use it instead of drawing your own, you can also do that. So I will leave the link to that below. These were some of the most helpful spreads, just keeping track of all the video ideas. All of these are video ideas. So when you give me an idea for a video and I say like, oh, that's a great idea, I'm not ignoring you. I just have many. I don't remember what I was going to put here, but I had something. And then we got to July. So July, we did this little like fish theme, and it says, when life gets you down, you know what you got to do. Just keep swimming. And I love the orange with all the blues. That's like my favorite color combo. Clearly I didn't use this page like at all, but July was a party. So yeah, there was just a lot going on. So here I tested out like some different spreads each time. And then we have August. I love this one because it's actually watercolored, and this is really easy because the background's really easy because you just strokes. This was a little more effort. I don't love how he turned out, but it's okay. And then I added like little dots with my gel pen. And this is actually not a Disney quote, but it said, "It's really empowering to fill your life with things that make you happy." And that's by a YouTuber. Her name's Becca. And I love her. And she just has like the happiest content. And around August, I just needed some happy things. We were getting ready to start school and starting school online, which I was not happy about. So, little turtles. It's been a year, friends. it's been fine. Yeah, and clearly. Anyway, in September, I went with this theme, which I also really love. I feel like it did a good job of kind of being more fallish, but not super fallish because it's still really hot here in September. And so for this one, I picked "You Control Your Destiny. You Don't Need Magic to Do It, and There's No Magical Shortcuts to Solving Your Problems." And that's from Brave. And I just love that little reminder that you are in charge. This is a very helpful calendar, habits. I did a self-care spread. I actually did a 4-week self-care challenge on my YouTube channel, so I will link that below. It has like printouts and everything. So I planned that out, and then I also added this, which I really liked, and it's things to keep, things to adjust, things to try, and things to quit. And that's kind of how I've been basing like all of my reviews and plans for the next month or the next year. And I have this quote: "Slow down, be more strategic, and say no more often." That's from High Performance Habits. Those are just good things to remember. This spread, I did not have time to make anything pretty, so it's just there, which is fine. You can see I did these all slightly different. All right, and now we're already to October. So October, I did this little fox. My husband said it looked like our dog, but it's supposed to be a fox, and our little wreath. And my quote was, "There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day." October, I felt like was kind of difficult, just every day being like, oh my gosh, we're doing this again, and like the same thing, and it, you know, still in quarantine, still online, still all these things. So this was a really good quote to remind myself that there's always tomorrow, and I should appreciate all of them. I also did this quarterly goals and game plan, which I loved. This was super, super helpful. I'm not done with this quarter, but I just added what I want to have, what I want to do, and what I want to be, big things and little things, and then broke it down by months for what I wanted to do. And this was just really helpful little reminder. And it says, "The difference between winning and losing is most often not quitting," which is a great quote for quarter 4. Over here, I have my little fall bucket list. We didn't get to do everything, but we did quite a few things. And this, again, just having those bucket lists is a good way to make sure that you're doing those like little fun things that maybe you wouldn't always remember to do. So that's something I will continue. I made an October in review page, and then I didn't fill it out. This was Halloween, so I added a little cauldron to make it a little more fun. And then this, I love it. So this is November. I wanted to do this like book and coffee, like really cozy kind of theme, but then I saw these colorful pumpkins on Tombo's Instagram page, and I fell in love, and I was like, I have to do those. So I ended up just combining it all. So we have November, I have some books here, and I picked all like kind of kid fantasy fun books. And then we also have the pumpkins going on, and it says, "Today or never, that's my motto," from Mary Poppins. And then this blue is acrylic paint, and I did that because I messed up a few times and I just needed to cover it up. But I actually really liked the way that it turned out. Here's how I was going to plan presents, and I didn't. But you know, I liked this page. It just says little moments, and so anytime something good happened or just something little and happy, I would write it down. Obviously not every time, but you know, still. And just little pumpkins. I love them. One thing that was special about this spread is that every week I wrote down all the books that I was reading, so you can kind of see how they changed. Like I finished Out of Oz, and so here I have the Book of Merlin that I was working on. So now we're in December, and this is also one of my favorite spreads. I've said that a few times, but I love it. It's only day 2, which is why these aren't colored in, but I'm coloring them in kind of like an advent calendar, and I just love how the cursive is attached to the light strands and all the colors. I made a Christmas bucket list and movie list as well, and I have been enjoying going ahead and knocking some of those off. I haven't done many of these, but it's only December 2nd, so I think I have an excuse. I also have a whole video about how I set this one up, so I'll link that below. Here I have my like planning page, so I have my Vlogmas calendar over here to keep track of what I'm putting where. I have the days when it like actually how they fall, and then also this, my plan was to put events that were happening, because I did have a few that were supposed to happen and then they all got canceled, so that didn't happen. And then up at the top it says seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. This is my gift list. No one watches my videos, so I'm not really worried about people seeing them. And then here is my first weekly spread, and that is pretty much all I have. I'm trying out some like art journaling because I actually have extra pages. So we're trying some stuff out, and then I skipped a few pages for weekly spreads, and then I have my review, so like spreads I liked and didn't like, how I want to improve, and then I just started this today, starting to think about what I want to do in my next one, which I did order. So I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed my first year of bullet journaling. I'm obsessed and will continue to do it next year, and it was really fun flipping through for me and seeing just kind of like how it's evolved over the year and what I thought I was gonna want and need and what I ended up wanting and needing, and how they were just totally different. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.